You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 544th edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks tonight. I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, hello.
And Jess. What's up, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
And I'm so glad to finally get you guys back in the same room. You've settled your tiff. The battle is finally over. You guys can stop yelling and finally sit down in the same room. I'm very proud of you guys for your growth.
Thank you.
Good
It
job.
took some work, but I feel like I was the bigger person in this equation. So, but good job, Ray. Good on you.
Yeah, you did win. Ray sucks. You're right. So I was so broken up about the whole fight, though, that I had to get out of town. That's why I sound so weird this week. I'm on the road. I just felt left out that, Ray had a road trip. Jess had a road trip. Everybody's on the road. Andrew's just sitting at home twiddling his damn thumb. So I had to get out on the road. So we're road tripping this weekend.
Nice.
Let's get into the show. What do we got this week? A little gameplay off the top. Let's see, we've got a couple of feedbacks that in from last week.
Dawn and Will.
Yeah,
Yep.
Treat.
I may have a game time for us. We'll see how that goes.
Boom. All right, game time. And usually we got a little bit of Iguana bit. So we'll go ahead and check in, see what everybody's been doing. Ray, you've been home for a whole week, haven't you? Close to it, though.
Yeah.
You have a chance to get home and stretch the wings a little bit and get back into the routine.
So I got home, got to fire up the supercomputer, and so the first thing I did was I deleted Starfield, reinstalled Starfield,
Oh, phew.
and then loaded the Genesys mod.
I am so glad you got that loaded and working because I've already seen pictures from it. Tell us about the journey to install Genesis.
So the laptop only had 8 gig of video memory, and that was just not enough to run. I mean, it was total slideshow. Got home, and the supercomputer is, I think it's 32 gig of video memory. And so it was like, this is no problem. And so got it all loaded up. You have to make sure you have a completely clean install of Starfield. So I had to delete all my mods and take control away from Vortex so that it couldn't sneak any mods in. And then the Genesys is a Wabbajack Mod Organizer 2 setup. And so got that all going and jumped right in.
What do you think? What was the first thing you thought loading in? Like, is the loading screen different? Is the start screen different? Character creation? How was it?
Everything is different.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there is nothing even remotely the same, with the exception of, so there's, it's still a work in progress mod, and they're doing regular updates on it. There's still a few of the planets that have their Starfield names, but most of the important ones are Star Wars names.
So I've seen a bit of it, but like, for instance, New Atlantis is Coruscant, right?
Yeah, correct.
And you're on Mars. What did they name Mars? Cydonia?
Gnosis.
Oh, Geonosis. Okay.
And so, I went with the Jedi route. So for starters, Coruscant, New Atlantis. I've been through New Atlantis, thousands of times. I was lost immediately.
Oh, wow.
They've added so many layers, so many corridors, so many little nooks and crannies. It worked out good because I found a lightsaber and I found some armor right away. So they don't really give you any gear. So if you were to go to, like if you went and landed on Mars and started to walk around, you would die.
Geonosis, please.
Yes, because you don't have a helmet. And without a helmet, you can't breathe. So it it definitely was a learning curve from Starfield.
That's totally Star Wars lore breaking. Ben Kenobi walked all over that planet without any sort of breathing apparatus. Come on.
So it's been a blast. The Starborn powers are now Jedi powers. And so instead of having to do the little fly around and catch the swirling lights to get your power, you have to fight a temple lord
Okay.
or
So
a
you ha-
temple guardian.
Kind of like sometimes you fight dragon priests at word walls to get your powers. Now you actually have to fight
Yeah.
something. Okay.
Yeah, so you have to fight this temple guardian, and as soon as you do, then you can fly into the circle and get your power.
What's the
Yeah.
Guardian like? Is it like a big monster or is it like an Imperial Guard?
No, it's like a monster. It's about twice as big as a human. It's not a hard fight, but definitely a good fight. There is a lot more difficulty in the combat, but it's been fun. Also, all of the weapons are new. Nothing even any remotely. Everything is an energy weapon.
They're
Of
all
some
pew pew
sort.
pew. Like they
Yeah.
sound like Star Wars weapons. They look like Star Wars weapons. I know that they've converted like major cities like we're talking about, but there are some new planets and cities too, right? Like whole new
Yeah.
stuff already made.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
because
cool.
1,000's not enough.
Well, no, they put something on the ones I'm talking about, you know?
It's it's really well done. There's a few places where you'll get into dialogue with somebody and they'll use a Starfield name instead of, if you look at the text, on the closed captions, it's got the Star Wars name, but they don't have every single line of dialogue redone.
It's very much a work in progress, I'm sure. I'm
But
sure a lot
they-
of side quests haven't been redone, but they said that they are working to redo all the factions, and those start to diverge a lot. Have you started any of the faction quests, or just Constellation?
So far just Constellation, because I wanted to get a few of the Jedi powers. And so I just visited Dantu Town, which is
Cool.
Aquila City.
Wait, is that, and that's the rebel base in this one, right?
That
Like
is-
the
that
rebels.
is-
How
yeah,
perfect.
so-
The Imperials are Coruscant, and the rebels are Dantu City.
Yeah. So all of the
Yeah.
are now Imperials, and everything Freestar is the rebels.
Sweet.
So
Why is it called Genesis?
I'm not sure.
It's spelled with a Y.
But it's
Genesis
not a
with a
reference
Y.
to the planet Geonosis, which is obviously about creation, because they're creating. That's where the droid
I'm
factory is.
sure there's some deep lore explanation for, because I have a
Okay.
feeling that a lot of these modders who are working on this are Starfield nerds. So, from what I know about this, like I said, a lot of the pieces were made. There were a lot of people making individual Starfield mods here and there, and
Mhm.
some of them started working together. And then the person who kind of assembled this and is spearheading the project, their name is Deity. And they're the ones kind of redoing the quests with some help and bringing all these various pieces together while they're becoming more of a team. Like, I don't think they're officially a team. Like maybe
Yeah.
he and a couple people, but like they're bringing a lot of people under. And so the rewritten voice lines are a lot of them done with AI. So that is something to be aware of if you're going to go into it. But if you're willing to stomach that, it seems really cool. And I know that it's still just a work in progress.
Yeah. Even the planets have been redone. So I just went to Bessel to set up my base. And now there are these big, giant, trees everywhere where it was barren before.
That's really cool. So you've been home for about 5 days. How much time have you put into this so far?
100 hours.
At least a couple of hours every day.
Cool.
Because I did need to make sure that I had gotten into the old world blues too. So that
Kind
was,
of important.
that was the other thing. So, but it's been super fun. If your computer can run it. So I had a little moment, when I was thinking about your Starborn Saturday post
Yeah.
about how my two favorite Bethesda games now are neither one a Bethesda game.
Are you saying Fallout London? And are you saying Genesis might be overtaking Starfield for you already?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Genesis wouldn't exist without Starfield, but
No,
that's crazy to think about.
anymore that Fallout London would exist without Fallout 4.
Yeah.
but they're both incredibly well done. I mean, Fallout London a lot more. I mean, that
Right,
is a
because they
completely
recreated everything is
polished-
new in there, as opposed to this, which
Yeah.
is skins, but it is more than skins too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, it's really well done. You know, I love having all the aliens walking around. I love having all the droids walking
I
around.
saw you posted a picture of a Twi'lek there on Geonosis.
So that's me.
Oh, that's you? You're a Twi'lek?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what you call the redheaded tendril people, right? I mean, well, the ones with tendril for hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting. So some of them are just straight up alien models, you know. So when you're picking your character at the beginning, you actually have these, you know, that you can go through. But, you know, my character, you select a regular human character, but then in the fine tuning of the character where you can choose, you know, their skin color. So I made mine bright red, and then you can choose the hairstyle. So there's a couple of different tendril styles
Oh, wow.
that you can choose from.
You've got a nice little bandana there. It's a little bit like a jester kind of cap with the bandana and the two things coming back.
And somewhat out of character for me, this is also a female character. So I don't normally do females. It's been so much fun and a lot of stuff to try to figure out what's good, what's not, you really have a hard time at the very beginning because leveling is very slow. But once I started getting Jedi powers, you know, some of those temples, I was getting 2 levels, you know, just from the time I walked in to the time I walked out. So it's been interesting. There's a lot of different skills that they've added. And so, you know, it's taken a little bit of time to go through some of those. Like, you know, in order to use a jetpack, you don't have to take boost training.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, you can just, you know, strap on a jetpack and, you know, figure it out.
Right. You might not fly well, but you can fly.
Yeah. Also, they took away, so now in order to level up a skill, you don't have to, you know, shoot, you know, 20, 30, 50 targets with a silenced weapon in order to level up your sneak skill. But there are things that you do need to do as far as unlocking other things. Like right now, I've got my Jedi skill at level 2, but to go up any further, I have to take lightsaber training. So stuff like that. It's not completely removed, but it's changed the way that, you know, that you level up skills.
I'm really curious to find out how that evolves. That's awesome. I'm sure we're going to be hearing about this for the next couple of weeks and stuff like that. So we should save some of it, but that just sounds really cool. Anything else you wanted to mention about it or about games you played this week?
So I had to try my tried and true going to Serpentis and, you know, getting weapons and jetpack stuff. But evidently they've also removed the levels from the different systems. So I wasn't getting any advanced weapons or advanced equipment.
So they're onto your tricks.
They are totally. But I did manage to hijack an ice ship. And so I upgraded right away, you know, which is good because I also don't have the unlimited storage mod available to me. So this ship that I picked up had a lot more storage because you get a lot more stuff because every enemy you kill, you get all the equipment that they had on, you know, so no more getting 1 or 2 pieces of loot from a fully kitted out character. If they've got, you know, a helmet, a backpack, and a set of armor, you get that helmet, that backpack, and those armor. Whatever they were shooting at you with, you get that gun. And so you get a lot of loot, which is good because the selling prices aren't really great.
Sounds like they rebalanced a lot in a way that makes it harder to kind of scam the game, which, I mean, that's good, you know, because the first few months you play, you find the ways that you're going to grind out levels, that you're going to grind out money, that you're going to get rich quick. And so it seems like they targeted that stuff a bit.
Yeah, they've definitely addressed it, which is great. I mean, I had to try it, but I loved that it didn't work.
Right. In a way, like Fallout London did that too, by making it harder, by making you poor all the time and weapons harder to get and stuff like that. It, just like survival mode, it can improve the game.
Yep, for sure. So definitely had a blast with that. And then of course, good to be back in the New Vegas. So I had crammed all of the quests for all the stuff that we did until I got home before I left. And so it worked out perfectly. I couldn't have been away for another week without getting into a deficit on quests. So since I had done the King's quests before I went and met with Crocker, in order to advance the NCR quests, I had to go to him and talk to him and say, hey, you mentioned that you had something else for me to do. And he tells you about the Kings and gives you the quest like he normally would. You can kill Pacer, but make sure they can't blame it us, or you could do it diplomatic. So then I had to run back to the Kings, talk to the King, say, hey, can you guys knock it off?
Knock it off.
With the violence? And he said, okay, but now I don't owe you anymore. And, so I went back to Crocker and let him know. And he's like, oh, that's great. Thanks.
And so that's how you finished it up. You did the part where you did all the legwork already. And now, yeah.
So that moved me on to for the Republic part 2. So I'm ready to go there, but always love spending some time in the big MT. So
it's something else. I can't wait to talk about it with y'all. Any other gameplay, Ray?
That was it.
Before we get too far away from your gameplay, Ray, just a couple quick questions. What language does everyone speak?
Everybody
what is
speaks
like the
English.
common tongue?
Well, except for the droids.
Do they call it English?
Beep and boop. No, they don't call it anything.
They don't. Of course, they wouldn't refer to it. They just speak it. Yeah.
It's Mojapalachian that they speak. But no, all the writing got turned into those Star Wars symbols. They stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So you have no idea when you walk up to a store
what they sell.
Yeah, you've got no idea what's going on in there. Now,
funny.
Their vendors are still they have some new ones. So there's a lot of, in corridors, you'll find some guy with a stand set up and he'll sell you stuff. But
how about what is the money called now? You have different kinds of money?
No,
like
you
Star
don't
Wars,
have.
There's like Imperial credits and, different kinds.
Yeah, I haven't noticed if they assigned anything to it because in Starfield, it's euros.
They use the same symbol as euros.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called credits, right? But it has that symbol.
Oh, yeah. They use that term credits. Okay.
And so with this, I it's probably in Imperial credits.
Okay, cool. Now, that sounds really fun. Of course, I'll never own a powerful enough computer to play it, but it sounds great.
So when you do get a Jedi power, this ominous, deep voice speaks to you in cryptic terms, and you're never really sure exactly what they mean by stuff they say, but
sounds like a normal Force ghost. Sounds appropriate.
So,
giving you vague instructions on how to lead your life.
So, yeah. So we'll see where it leads. I still haven't been to Neon, so I don't know what that's called yet. But I'm sure it's something Greek.
Some pleasure city, right? Yeah. I don't remember either.
Where would that be in Star Wars? I wonder what that gambling planet was, and with the people faced camel racing, horrifying animals. Yeah.
So, but that's it.
Cool.
I didn't get anything else in. The rest of it was all IRL stuff. And there's a lot of cooking. No other gameplay for me this past week.
So how about you, Andrew? What have you been getting up to?
Oh, well, I did a little bit of Big MT just because I wanted to hop back in a little bit before the show tonight. But I went in, a week ago or something and got it started a little bit. But mainly, I've still been concentrating on Ocarina of Time still. And, I hesitate to turn this into the Zelda podcast, but
I mean,
lots of fun with
it. Was a Starfield podcast, 15 minutes. I mean, Star Wars podcast. So, no, but seriously, Ocarina.
Wars.
Exactly. How far did you make it? Like, where are you? Are you halfway through, you think, at this point?
I'm now in something called the Shadow Temple, which is, you do the the 3 main temples as a kid, and then you do them again as an adult with, because in the new versions as an older person, you get different tools which will allow you to access different areas where you couldn't as a child. So you redo basically the same dungeons again as an adult. So I finished that portion, and now we're in sort of like the end game. There's this like shadow temple, and I think maybe Ganon's castle is next. I think when he moved into Zelda's castle, so I'll have to go battle him hopefully by next week. I'm at the last boss of the Shadow Temple. It's this giant floating head with 2 hands, and his name is Bongo Bongo. And you
love those Zelda names.
You are literally on top of a giant drum, and the 2 giant hands are banging on the drum, bouncing you everywhere, grabbing you and beating you down. And you have this magical magnifying glass where if you don't have it activated, you cannot see the bad guy. So like, it's called like a mysterious lens or something like that. So you can like see secret passageways and secret walls or holes in the floor and stuff like that. But this bad guy, you can't see him unless you have the damn thing activated. I tried it a few times and just kept getting demolished. And so I'm like, wow, this is usually there's like a little exploit or a little trick that you can find with each big boss. That you're like, oh, this is the one where you roll and throw a bomb, or this is the one where you draw him close with a hook shot and then hit him with your sword, or there's always like a little song and dance that you have to do for each boss with the tool that they give you during that level.
Yeah, that's the thing about Zelda. Like learning boss patterns like that is a big part of a number of these kind of games. But Zelda is very specific about, hey, here's your new tool.
Exactly. This is your new tool, and you have to learn this skill in order to beat this boss. And a lot of the time, it's sad because you use that item in that temple, and then you never use it ever again for the rest of the game. They just give you a different new thing to use for the next temple. You know what I mean?
But bombs and boomerang, you use those all the time, right?
Yeah, all the time. Like bows and arrows, bombs and boomerangs, you'll use in every temple. But like this mysterious, like magnifying glass thing I probably won't use that anymore for the rest of the game. I bet. Or there's these air boots you used in this one temple that help you float a little bit when you're running. You can go over longer gaps in the floor and stuff like that. Maybe I'll use those but like generally I find that you use the implement that they give you in that spot, and then they just kind of are more interested in designing the next temple for whatever the other, the upcoming item will be.
So you're having trouble with Bongo Bongo.
Bongo Bongo is whooping my ass. And so I went to the guide that I have been, sort of like feeling guilty about using, just to see if there were any tips for it. And the guide was just like, and this is a really difficult boss. Good luck. That's like,
wow.
Oh, fuck.
Well, here's what you have to do, okay? So if you have trouble with Bongo Bongo, have Jeff come over and he can beat the drums again for you.
Oh, Jeff. I'll just have him over.
Andrew just put out that album. He thanked Jeff last week, but we were all listening to it the other day, and came together really well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Bongo Bongo sitting there banging on the drum, yelling at me and stuff, and I just yelled back at him, I don't want to leave the jungle. Oh, no, 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 no. Stares at me blankly, having no idea.
Civilization is a thing for me to see. So, bongo, 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 I don't want to leave the Congo. Oh, no, 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 no. Bingo, bango, bungle, I'm so happy in the jungle, I refuse to go. Don't want no bright lights, false teeth, doorbells, landlords, I make it clear that no matter how they coax him, I'll stay right here.
Yeah, it's in all of our heads, by the way. It's in all of our heads as soon as you said bongo bongo.
Yeah.
Because we're civilized people.
Mm-hmm. Civilization. Yeah, so I'm fighting Bongo Bongo in the Spirit Temple right now, and I believe there's only one more temple after that. But usually in between temples, there's enough of like a few different little side quests and fun stuff to go collect, and a little here, go to the shooting gallery and earn a little heart piece here. You're supposed to have 20 full heart pieces by the end of the game, and I'm only at like 17, so I think I skipped a few things along the way. So I must not have been following that guide as closely as I thought I was in the early on. Definitely missed a few of the golden sculptulas too, because the count is up in the 90s and I'm in the like low 80s, so I've missed at least 10 of those along the way too.
Why are there so many collectibles in these kind of games? So many.
Oh my god, there's got to be something for you to try to
like
do,
who
right?
would put things like in games to collect, like no snow globes, sculptulas, bobbleheads?
Yeah, who would do that?
Ridiculous.
Oh, you're talking about naming the Zelda names of stuff. Bongo Bongo is one. Humorous. There is a underwater dragon. It's not underwater. In the fire temple of the Gorons, there's a dragon that lives in the volcano, and that's why the volcanoes are erupting. He's a very upset dragon. And I had when you enter the dungeon, it's like it goes to a cut scene, and then you see the bad guy like fly around the room, and then it flashes the name of the bad guy across the screen. I had to pause it and show Tori. I just say, hey, look at this. This is like, there's a very long dragon that's name is Volvagia, like Volvagia, and I'm like, this is crazy. She's like, is this name? You didn't do this, did you? Like, no, this is the name of the dragon. She said, Volvagia? What are they doing? I'm like, I don't know. She said, this game is for children. I said, I know.
They're Japanese. It's a volcanic reference. He's a fire dragon, right?
Yes. So like volcano. Yes, I get it. But it's the Vagia part that I'm like, oh.
I'm sure there's a Pokemon out there called Volvagia too.
Oh yeah, there's
looks
probably.
a little like Cloyster. Yeah.
There's that mushroom-shaped one called Penis Face. That old Pokemon.
No, that is an Old World Blues, Penis Face.
And we'll get there. Or wait, is that the big MT? No.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Right.
There's so many penises. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been doing lots of time. One day earlier in the week when my DS, the battery died. So I popped in Breath of the Wild, which I haven't played. I got about halfway or 3/4 of the way through probably. The first time I played it, and got drift so terrible on my Switch controllers that I just couldn't, it was unplayable. And then I had to send off my Joy-Cons, and they sent them back, and they still didn't work great. But now, a few years later, the market is now flooded with generic third-party controllers that work great. And if it breaks, I'll spend another $12 and get another one. You know what I mean? Like, they become disposable items at this point. And the Nintendo ones just seem to go bad pretty quickly. And if you look on their website or look in the help department, like, you can see that it is a pretty rampant problem with the Joy-Cons, was the drift and stuff like that. So I really don't, now that I've got a couple of like just loose generic third-party controllers around, I can find one that doesn't have drift. And so I'm thinking after Ocarina of Time, I'm probably just going to float right into Breath of the Wild, which was the first Zelda game for the Switch era.
Yeah, the first of the Skyrim Zelda styles.
No, it might have been on Wii U, actually, was it?
It was a crossover. It was a crossover, Andrew. They released for both, if I recall. Yeah.
Yes, Zelda loves to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They did that with one of the GameCube, too. So yeah, Zelda. And a little bit of Fallout earlier today when I was like, whoa, shit, I need to hop back in and get myself a quick refresher. So before we hit the road to Michigan, I ran around the big MT for like an hour today and tried to get myself lobotomized, undo my lobotomy.
Awesome. Over here, I did play some games this week, but it was a really busy week for me. We've got some fun prep coming up for various things, but I played another probably 5 hours of Baldur's Gate. I'm up to about 14 or 15 hours into Baldur's Gate 1 now, the game I was going to play for 15 minutes. Get an achievement or two, reacquainting myself. It is such a crunchy, numbers-heavy RPG. It is D&D ass D&D. It's based on like 82nd edition or maybe 2.5 edition, whatever it is in there, somewhere between 2 or 3, but I think it's still 2. And it's got the rules, it's got the numbers that all make sense. You've got THAC0, which to hit armor class 0, for those who don't know, one of the most backward systems ever, and I love it because, you enjoy what you start with, and I started with THAC0. So that's pretty cool. And that's just a thing where basically like armor class is higher, and as it goes down, you get better, and then it can get into the negative levels. And in order to whether it hit you, it's to hit armor class 0 is what THACO stands for.
Wow.
Anyway, it's a whole system that they don't use in current D&D, but it made sense to me.
I didn't realize that there were. I guess there would have to be, but I guess I didn't realize there were different version models, 0.5 to 3. Or...
Yeah, we're up to 5e now. We're up to 5th edition. And people have their favorites. I think 3rd is probably the most popular. But, I started with 2, so I like that. And then, there are people who played the D&D without the advanced. It was just straight up Dungeons and Dragons and red box, blue box. Like, yeah.
What do they change in between? Do they add more nooks and crannies to the details?
Definitely nooks and crannies, things like subclasses, and over time they changed systems. Like eventually they went to where more of the stuff is done on a 20-sided die and
start as a D20?
Less on the others. It always had a D20, but early on there were also, did you know on the very first sets? Oh my God, we're going Nerdville here. So the original D&D dice, and Ray, did you play early D&D at all with any friends?
No.
Okay. So the original D&D dice, they were these molded plastic things. You'd get your 6, 8, 10, 12, 20. But they were just one solid piece of plastic, like you would get out of a 3D printer now. And the way that you got the numbers on there, they had the indents. You took a piece of like white crayon and you rubbed it across and you filled in the numbers yourself. So it was just a piece of plastic. And you kind of chalked in the numbers with like this waxy crayon stuff on the original D&D sets.
Did a 20-sided die exist before Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't
Was
know.
it invented for Dungeons and Dragons? Did they
I can't
create
imagine. They might have created the D100, which is a ridiculous thing if you've never seen one. It's like basically a golf ball.
I was going to say, when does a die cease being a die and turn into a round? How many sides can you get where it'll stop?
I quickly looked it up. And the D20 or 20-sided die originated in ancient Egypt and Greece over 2,000 years ago.
Whoa.
But was later popularized in modern gaming by Dungeons and Dragons. So they did have,
20 years ago.
What is it, an icosahedron or something? Anyway, they did have it back then. But yeah, so Baldur's Gate, crunchy. Been fun, just kitting out my people, getting gear. So it's been relaxing. And I dropped some more duchies a bit. I'm up to the 3rd faction out of 5. So I'm dropping duchies for the order now. I started out dropping duchies for the duchy. Yeah. And then I dropped duchies for the republic. And now it's for the order. Like the people to the monarchy to like the theocracy. Anyway, it's fun. It's silly. These are both like just little fun things to do for half an hour to an hour to do. But I also played New Vegas.
Well, it's funny that you started doing it just to grab a couple achievements for your credit list or whatever. So you could check that off your daily tasks. And then you got sucked in for 3 weeks all of a sudden somehow.
Yeah. I'm up to 15 hours in 3 weeks. But here's the cool thing about it. Because there are new achievements to earn. So I'm getting new achievements. And every week, you got to get that Game Pass given. So now playing it in March, I've now got that for March too. See, so it is still effective in the meta sense.
How they rope you in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Just a few achievements, Jess. That's all you'll play, we swear.
Well, Crimson Desert is coming out soon. So you may lose me to that, or it may be something else. But I know there's another big game that's going to pull me in sooner than later coming up. Maybe that's going to be Starfield again with the...
I know you mentioned Crimson Desert last week. Remind me, what was that?
Big
game?
Open world action RPG, but heavier on the action. Huge open world, twice as big as Skyrim. We watched some videos after the podcast, if you remember those.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. And then New Vegas, the game we're playing right now. So there is trouble in Boobtopia. Things were going well. And things...
I saw that movie once.
And I'm fine in the world, but trying to start Old World Blues was not working. I would get to the location, I would do the thing, we'll talk about it later, but then I would crash. I'd load in and crash. It just does not like the DLC. So, Calliope Bubenstein. Anyway, she is still going to continue with the main quests.
Yourself all flustered.
I did. And she's going to continue with those, but I actually said, okay, fine. I will jump onto the Xbox to play this, which, let's be real, I've wanted to for weeks because It's the Xbox. I'm comfy. It's my controller. I love it. So
Who
what
could have foreseen that months and months ago?
I am, I am who I am, as they say. But Boomstein will continue for sure. But for now, we're on another trip. So what I did, I jumped over there and I started evaluating characters still have. I don't have a save file for my original 360 character. Okay, so my very first New Vegas 360 character, no saves for that because it wasn't cloud backed up. So I've got one from a character, Lisa, who was my second New Vegas character. One from Jessica, who was my third New Vegas characters. One from Olivia from the last roundtable. So I had to pick from those, right? Because those are the 4 that exist there. I was looking at them and who got how far. And my highest level was actually Jessica. She's the one that got into 120 hours, level 38 or 39 was my highest level existing character. So I went back to when she was about level 21, 22, which is similar to where I am. And I looked, and believe it or not, on the quest is actually perfect. At this point, Jessica has not done the boomers, but she's done a lot of NCRs. Yeah, I loaded in there. It was actually perfect. So I started playing her for a bit, walked around town, met some people, went and did the Aces Lounge quest, talked to Tommy Torino, recruited some acts, just kind of reacquainted myself with where I was at in the game. She hasn't been to Jacobstown yet, haven't been into Gomorrah yet. So there are some things I haven't done. So I'm perfect. This character will actually work. So she is the one who made the trip, but it was really fun to look at the old characters and how they were. Now, the only problem with Jessica, she is gun heavy. She was focused on guns. So my goal now is the next 4 or 5 levels I get, I'll be putting all the points into energy weapons so that I can pick it up and continue to play the way I should be. Especially because, you get energy weapons galore once you go here. So it's probably a smart thing to do. But I've got this really sick 12.7 millimeter with all the mods. And yeah, I did pretty well with this character. I like her. So that's who I'm playing the DLC with. But that's pretty much it for my gameplay.
That's really cool. And they have some fun. I mean, I haven't used them to see if they're actually legitimate melee weapons. But I think I saw something on a plasma axe, or Ray was mentioning all the weapons in Starfield got switched to everything is now an energy weapon. Well, I was trying to think about that. I was like, man, the Star Wars universe, I guess he's right. There are no ballistic guns. The closest thing they have to melee weapons is a lightsaber, which is still an energy weapon. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all energy weapons. That's crazy.
There's a lot of it. And yeah, there's a whole lot in Old World Blues. I think Old World Blues probably adds more characters and items than any of the others. Because we got a few unique things.
Are there
not as hard, but
cool individual named unique weapons and sets of armor or something like that? The one we got from, there was a helmet or something we got from Daniel's helmet from the last DLC. Yeah.
Salt upon wounds, the horse head.
Or one of the 2 guys' armor or hat or something that you love, right?
I'm wearing Joshua Graham's armor.
Joshua Graham, right. And he was the other dude, not Daniel.
Yeah.
But I think that will lead us into the next bit, because while we're talking New Vegas, before we get into our DLC gameplay, we actually have some feedback catch up from next week.
Woo! All right.
Y'all ready for that?
Yep, sounds good. Let's do it.
So,
As we dance in the air, we make feedback.
first feedback coming in tonight is from Will. Take it away.
It's a quiet evening at Cal's house. Rex has abandoned his favorite corner and is posted by the stove, waiting, his tail thumping against a cabinet. The kids have discovered Cal's old Tales of Chivalry magazines and are lost in sword and sorcery adventures. Cal calls from the kitchen.
Kids, dinner's ready. I made something special tonight.
Mom said not to let you feed us any of your Wastelander food.
Cal grins.
But you haven't lived until you tried my grilled radroach.
Ew!
Relax. Brahmin steaks. Now, sit down. I'll tell you what happened after I left the Boomers.
After the Boomers, Cal, Cass, and Rex headed back to their room at Novak to rest and resupply. Ambassador Crocker had mentioned another assignment when she was ready. Assignment. Cal didn't like the sound of that. She was helping the NCR, not serving them. And Cass sure as hell wasn't taking orders from anyone. For now, though, their goals aligned. a safer Mojave. And after the thorn, that kind of guidance was exactly what she needed. On the walk, super mutants ambushed them, with hideous creatures she had never seen before beside them, spitting fire. Dinner bell rang. It was the first time she had used the new shotgun. Its tighter spread and heavier punch ended the skirmish quickly. Cal was impressed. If nothing else, the thorn had given her this. They traded with a passing merchant and paid for safe transport the rest of the way to Novak.
First saw this place, thought the giant gecko was real.
They spent a quiet couple of days there. Then it was time. Back in Ambassador Crocker's office, he outlined the NCR's latest problem in Freeside.
Violence is something of a way of life there, but there's been a disturbing rise in the number of attacks on our people lately.
Cal wasn't surprised. She had worked with Julie Farkas and the King before, trying to ease tensions between Freeside and the NCR. Not everyone welcomed them there.
NCR should head back to their lands. I'm sure their people miss them.
Crocker continued.
Our sources have tracked most of the attacks back to a king named Pacer.
That tracked with what Cal remembered of Pacer. He had run interference before when an NCR envoy had been beaten trying to meet with the King. Then Crocker said it.
The consensus is that the violence will stop if he's removed.
Cal stared at him. She had no love for Pacer, but she wasn't an assassin, and said so.
In that case, we could take a different tact. Diplomacy. If we can't go after the man responsible, we'll simply appeal to the man above him. Go and talk to the king. Try to convince him to put an end to this violence. Pacer's a punk, but he won't likely disobey a direct order.
Why hadn't that been the first option? She had come to the NCR for guidance, for a better way, and their first instinct had been more blood? That unsettled her. Still, the violence in Freeside had to stop. She believed the king would listen to her. She had already stepped in between his people and NCR soldiers at his request once before, defusing a firefight that could have turned Freeside into a war zone. Afterward, he had named her an honorary king.
From this day forward, you're one of us.
And so Cal went to Freeside, confident she could fix this. The king was happy to see Rex again.
Why, Rexy, you look all better, boy. Good as new. Did my Rexy get a new brain?
He was glad to see her too, but when she asked him to stop the violence, the answer wasn't what she expected.
I'd like to help you out, but that's a pretty big favor you're asking for, and you've already used yours.
Cal stared at him. This wasn't about favors. It was about responsibility. The Kings were supposed to be different.
We're different than other gangs, and not just because we dress better. We're not just a group of thugs looking for our next fight.
Cal's patience was thinning. Was everyone in the goddamn Mojave going to let her down? She thought of Cass by her side, of Julie, Sunny Smiles, Doc Mitchell, good people still trying. It restored her equanimity, kept her from boiling over. But when she told Crocker the king had refused, his answer pushed her to the edge.
That's most unfortunate. In this circumstance, I've been instructed to send you along to Colonel Moore over at Hoover Dam for further orders. The colonel will likely send you back to Freeside with a squad of armed men.
And there was that word again. Orders. She hadn't come to the NCR to be commanded. She wasn't going to march soldiers into Freeside and have more blood on her hands. She told him it was a terrible idea and turned toward the door. His reply stopped her. He agreed.
I'd suggest you speak to Colonel Shue over at Camp McCarran. He's much more level-headed about this sort of thing. He's also in a better position to bargain with the people of Freeside. Still, I'm only mentioning it as an option. My official orders are to direct you to Colonel Moore.
Now she understood. Crocker was following orders, but he was a diplomat, delicately giving her room to work around them. The NCR wasn't simple, but it was still her best path to help the Mojave. She would have to learn the subtleties of navigating NCR bureaucracy. So she went to Camp McCarran to meet with Colonel Shue.
I'm glad we could finally meet. My sources tell me you've done some good work for us. What brings you to Camp McCarran?
Cal explained Freeside and that she had been told to see Colonel Moore, but that Crocker had quietly pointed her here instead.
Because he's looking to avoid a bloodbath. Go to the leader of the Kings and tell him that I'll make sure Freeside gets more water, power, and food, as long as the violence there stops.
It was practical, measured. Finally, someone thinking beyond force. So Cal would play the role as interlocutor between the two men. Now it was up to the king. She returned to Freeside, but an NCR squad had arrived first. The king was furious. Cal almost apologized. She hadn't known the NCR would send troops ahead, but this didn't start today. The king could have stopped it earlier. Instead, she just delivered Shue's offer. More food, more resources.
That sounds fair. And all I have to do is try to tone down the attacks on the squatters, you say?
Pacer exploded.
This is bullshit. Why are we even talking about dealing with these guys? I'm about to prevent you from making a huge mistake.
Then he turned to Cal.
And you Bringing these assholes in here like you're doing us some kind of favor. You can take your new friends and get the hell out of here, because the answer is no.
Cal reminded him it wasn't his decision. It was the king's.
Not anymore, it isn't. He's not in his right mind if he's even thinking about making a deal with this scum.
Guns shifted in NCR hands. One wrong move and it would be over.
Pace, don't do this. I won't stand with you if you do.
Then I'll stand on my own, just like I always have. Just like a king should.
Cal asked if he was really willing to fight both the NCR and the king. Pacer relented.
No. We would never survive. We need to stick together. I'll go with whatever the king decides, but I'll be watching these NCR scumbags like a hawk.
Back at the embassy, Crocker looked relieved.
I'm just glad that things didn't end in violence.
So was Cal. And on the walk back to Novak, Cass gave Cal a nudge and said they should have something special for dinner. Cal smiled. How about Brahmin steak?
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Well, that got dramatic in the middle. I didn't know which way it was going to go there. I really didn't know which path she was going to take, because it made sense for the character that it would go one way, but man, the king got worked up there.
It's so hard to feel intimidated by someone doing a terrible Elvis impersonation, though, at the same time. He's getting so angry, I just giggle when he's like, "Oh man, I'm getting so worked up over here. Honk a bird of love, baby." Just like.
Okay, well, I will say I think yours was a little less intimidating than the king. I think the king had some intimidation factor going on there. Oh, but you're absolutely right. But now, what a cool story. I love that he leaned into the framing this time too. Getting back to the whole storytelling and was it cooking Brahmin steaks at the beginning? I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. There was the rad roach offer removed and then Brahmin steaks.
Nice. That was awesome, Will. Great to hear more about her story arc and reminiscing. Did you guys have anything else on the feedback?
He's just always so great. It's just enthralling to, grabs your attention and this leads you through a story. It's wonderful. Love it.
And, interlocutor. And there was some other word that I heard him drop.
Oh, did he do the word of the day? And I wasn't even listening for it. Oh,
yeah,
no.
It was equivalent. Oh, man.
So here we go. Equanimity. His words of the day
there you go.
are equanimity, which means evenness of mind, especially under stress, and interlocutor, one who takes part in dialogue or conversation.
Say that one again?
Yeah, I think it's usually interlocutor.
Like elocution. Okay.
Okay, interlocutor. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else say it out loud. So one of those words like that. He also had a note, because I pulled up his email now, on the feedback, since I'm playing them tonight while Andrew is away. And he said the ending he took for King's Gambit is another restored content version. So that's why I hadn't heard some of that drama before. Right. Is because it was from the cut restored content. So a little bit more happening there. And he initially played through the end, up to the end conversation with Pacer, and the quest kept stalling. He thinks in the released version, from the point he was at, Pacer and a couple of supporters pull guns and the NCR quickly kills them. But he couldn't get the quest to move forward that way. So he tried using console commands to advance, but it didn't work. So he ended up using the cut content mod that allows the player to pass a speech check to have Pacer back down and let him finish the quest properly. Then since Cal tries to end every conflict through speech, it actually ended up working out more with her character. So that's awesome.
Yep. I mean, cool.
Good sense.
I mean, it sucks the game kept stalling out, though.
I know how it is. When you're modding New Vegas up the wazoo, these things happen, Hopefully he can get into the DLC.
Well, part of that whole modding nightmare is that sometimes you're planting a seed in the beginning of the game that you don't know is going to blow up in your face 40 hours in or whatever, you know what I mean?
So next up on the feedback, we have Dawn. So now this is a big catch up from Dawn. Primarily going through Honest Hearts, speaking of, but also the first 4 or 5 minutes are kind of about her character and catch up. So settle in. It's a long one, but a good one.
Hello again. It's me, Sassy Lady. It's been a while since you've heard from me. There's a reason. Last time that I sent feedback, I was at the point where I had gone and gotten the platinum chip back from Benny. I had to kill off the Legion, and I delivered it to House. Was sending me back to the fort to upgrade his Securitrons. That did not work out for me. It was a bug that I was suffering, that when I got there, it acted like I didn't have the chip. When I went back to house, he said, go do the thing. So ended up where I had to basically go back to a previous save, and I kept going back until basically I went back to Baldur City. And since I went back that far to Baldur City, I played it differently. I ended up killing Benny in the Tops Casino and getting the chip there, giving it back to House, not becoming vilified with the Legion, so that when I showed up at the fort, I was able to basically move freely. I talked to Caesar. Caesar wanted me to destroy the Securitrons. I was like, sure, buddy, I'll do that. Did not destroy the Securitrons, obviously, but Legion still exists in my current playthrough, but I was able to upgrade the Securitrons this time. Yay me. So I was able to move forward. So basically, I just replayed everything the way I had previously, except I didn't kill any Legion this time. I decided I just didn't have the heart to do all that again. It was not fun. So I just let them live this time, and we'll see how that goes through. I had bunches of notes on what I did with all this, but since I'm behind, I didn't want to spend all of my time going through all of this. So basically, the quest line was interesting, and I am enjoying playing for House, although I can see that as I go farther in, it's going to be interesting because of the fact that the NCR and the Legion will both start to come to distrust me. And right now I'm enjoying the fact that everybody likes me, and I'm not looking forward to when it comes down to where people are going to start not liking me. The only faction that I'm vilified with right now is the Powder Gangers, because I took Good Spring's side in the original battle. But right now I'm kind of digging the fact that I'm accepted or liked or whatever by literally everyone else. So next step, I'm just going to go ahead and stick with House for right now, is to go see the Boomers. And I made my way to Nellis Air Force Base. I ran into this guy named George, who offered me some advice on how to get to the base without getting blown up for 300 caps. His advice was garbage. I figured out how to do it on my own, and don't think I'm not going to go back looking for this man. Sorry about the dog.
That was awesome.
Calm Horizons has his son. I have my dog. So I made it to the gate. Much to their surprise, it seemed to not welcome me, but they were adamant that I had to see their leader, because apparently if one of the outsiders makes it to the gate, they're special. So I got to go see their leader. She wanted me to help them around the base to gain their trust. So I fixed generators and helped heal sick people and, basically did little odd jobs around the place. In the process of fixing their solar array, I had to go to Helios 1 to get some solar panels, and ended up fixing Helios 1's solar power as well to give the NCR more efficient power. And when I had to choose where to send that power, of course I wanted to send it to the Strip, because that would benefit House. And, you couldn't just pick Strip. So that benefited the NCR. So sure, why not? That was just incidental, they got some extra power. So yay them. So that was fun. I met Mr. Fantastic. I didn't think he was that fantastic. I thought he was kind of a dork, kind of a jerk, actually. He doesn't know anything. We know that obviously with his theoretical degree in physics. So once I got back to the Boomers and they decided to let me know about their secret project, which was their dream of raising the B-29 bomber, the Lady of the Lake. So of course, I was the one to do that, because they don't leave that base ever. I managed to raise this bomber, and that was pretty darn cool. Just being able to swim under the water. Water's so clear, not in real life. That was so pretty. And got that sucker up to the surface, returned to them. They said, yep, we're going to send some robots to go bring that sucker home so they can work on it. And then I spoke to them about, aiding House when the coming Battle of the Dam came up. And they said, sure, whatever you want, babes, we're yours. So that worked out just fine. So I was pretty excited about that. as I came back to the strip to go tell Mr. House the good news, I thought I would pop in and check on the king and say hey to him, and realized I had never actually visited him because my previous visits had been erased. So I did some good deeds for him as well, so I could get some more cred for the free side. And then I went on and did Honest Hearts. I'm not going to talk about every little thing I did in Honest Hearts because we all know how that goes. I will talk about my impressions of Honest Hearts and then basically how I played it out. I loved Honest Hearts. I loved the landscape. I loved the setting. I loved everything about it. The story was heartbreaking, particularly when you did the Father of the Caves. I made sure that I did that part, and I followed and read all the terminals in the caves so I could follow that story and how heartbreaking it was for that poor man. When I finally found him and got his last entry, it kind of gives you the idea of how we came up with these two tribes, the Sorrows and the Dead Horses. So you can just see how these two tribes came about and how he had taken care of them and taught them how to survive and gave them his knowledge so that they could survive and go on into the future and defend themselves so that they wouldn't die off like he'd seen so many other times. This poor man had gone through, and he'd lost his original family, and then he lost, yes, probably his fault because he didn't have the knowledge or the experience, but he tried so hard to save his wife and child. And somehow he had the will to go on. He didn't mentally, but he did. But I really enjoyed that storyline. The concept that the tribals thought that pre-war buildings were taboo and that they shouldn't be entered, and that the caves or the Father of the Caves should not be entered or they would be punished, was interesting. I get why they thought they would be punished by entering the caves, as this man had totally booby-trapped all of his caves and then apparently had gone off to die from cancer without clearing the booby traps, although he clearly stated that he knew that these kids would find his caves and be able to loot what was left in them. Apparently he was remiss in de-arming these caves, and so it was passed down the generations that they would be punished if they entered the caves because death. So I can understand why they didn't enter the caves. Now, why the pre-war buildings would have been taboo, there was so much in these buildings that was left. They were obviously not scrounged, nobody had scavenged them. There was bunches of food and things like that in these buildings. And then, of course, when Joshua and Daniel send you to find the things that they need in case they evacuate the canyon, you have to go get the walkie-talkies and the med kits and I forget what else, but all the stuff that they want that you have to go get. It's interesting that Follows Chalk is all about it. He's like, yes, let's go. When you meet him, he talks about the civilized world. He seems almost jealous that you come from this place that he's never been, and he's very keen to try it out. In fact, one quest is that you can help him decide whether he is going to leave the canyon and go to see the world or not. And I had nothing wrong with him going to see the world, but I didn't feel like it was a great idea for him to go see it alone because he had no experience being in the world. He didn't even speak English, right? I could just see some raider shooting him because he couldn't even speak English correctly. I didn't think it was a great idea for him to go out and see the world. Now, Joshua leaves it up to you to make a recommendation. I didn't want to tell this kid what to do, but I did want to tell him, hey, it ain't all that it's cracked up to be, and kind of gently let him down so that maybe he wouldn't go out and get himself killed. And then when you're with Waking Cloud and she's like, we shouldn't be here, we shouldn't be doing this. And she's all about, family and community and taking care of her tribe and following the ways of the elders. It's a very different dynamic between these two people that you're with. even though she will do the things, she'll go in the caves with you, even though she's very nervous about it and she doesn't want to stay very long. I found it very interesting, this dichotomy in these two people and how they both felt about this canyon. And again, it goes back to like the ultimate decision when you talk to Joshua and when you talk to Daniel, the ultimate decision for the main quest line is, do they stay or do they go? And it's a hard decision to make because, yes, if they stay, they have to become fighters. Daniel feels like you're going to ruin their innocence. But I felt like if they left, they're just constantly going to be running because even if they go to Grand Staircase, maybe something's going to happen there. Someone else will find them and then they're going to have to leave and go somewhere else. Is that how they're going to spend their life? They're never going to be able to put down roots, make a home. They're just always going to be on the run. So ultimately, I decided to go with Joshua and say they should stay and fight for their home. And honestly, I felt like that's what they wanted to do. The Sorrows didn't seem to have any problem, stepping up and fighting. And granted, there were losses. Now, when it came down to the end, I wouldn't let Joshua execute Salt Upon Wounds or whatever his name was, because I felt like that was a bit much. And I guess from what I've seen from how the endings play out, it just makes Joshua turn into like a warlord. And I felt like the man should die with dignity. He should be able to defend himself. And I think that's basically what I said was let him defend himself, which he ended up dying anyway. In fact, I think in my playthrough, I think I was the one that delivered the killing blow, maybe. So, the guy was a jerk. Granted, the White Legs are all jerks. And to me, it was fine that they ended up eventually being, obliterated or whatever. They were out. But I thought that having the tribe stay in Zion was the right choice because it was a beautiful place to live. And I felt like it was worth fighting for their home. They'd been there for generations, and I just didn't see the point of them running and continuing to run for probably the foreseeable future. But that was basically how I left it. So trying to get caught up, and hopefully I can get some more feedback done real soon. I'm really enjoying playing Fallout New Vegas, trying to get some more little side quests done along the way, just because I noticed that my map is mainly only open along the central part of the map. I haven't really done a whole lot on the outskirts. So trying to get a little more of the gameplay in, and we'll see how that goes. So signing off for this time. Take care.
Thank you so much, Dawn. That was excellent. Gosh. Okay. I said it was going to be 13 minutes, but it flew by. That was really great.
Yeah. And the big question in Honest Hearts really does boil down to, if you go, there will be trouble. If you stay, it will be double.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. That evaluating the choices.
Tease, isn't it?
Evaluating the choices really was hard. Like we talked about that a bit at the time. Neither one is a perfect solution. I do think keeping the valley, like we talked about, I think keeping the valley is probably the better choice for them, right? Letting them keep their home. Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, the game makes sure that that Daniel is 100% happy because, he's never happy. And,
that's, when you cannot be happy about something, it really takes away any desire whatsoever to even try.
Right. So in a way, we do it for the rest of the Sorrows. For the most part, they definitely benefited. But the stuff about some of them becoming a little bit, more warlike or more aggressive or what have you, that's probably just offshoots. And that's like anyone. It's individuals. It's not necessarily the tribe as a whole changing their destiny that much. And they got to keep their home. So I think it's the way to go.
And there's a lot less Yagwais in the...
Yeah, that is a good thing for sure. But coming up back, so the whole situation she had with her character after you redo a bunch of stuff, she mentioned she didn't massacre the Legion this time, which, some of the people in chat said, oh, I still would have. And yeah, maybe you would have, but I agree. It could add to different gameplay options next time than she might have had this time, as far as later quests. Yes, you need to introduce the dog. There is a consensus that if your dog barks, you need to introduce them. You can't just say, oh, that's my dog. No, what's the dog's name?
Everybody with a speaking part in your feedback must be identified and given credit.
Thank you. Union rules. Absolutely, Ray. You got it. I also loved that she finished all the boomer stuff and the secret projects, and they were all like, whatever you want, babe, we're yours. That's really how it goes. Like, once you win them over fully, and their attitude really changes. And then besides that, the way that she talked about honest hearts, using the survivalist as framing, I think that's great too, because that story really does, like, while the story, even without any of that, like, if you never discover the caves, although you have to at least once for the main quest. But if you just follow the main quest and never discover survivalist, it's still a good, solid story. But when you get that framing about his history, his life, and layer all that on top of how the tribes, evolved and their ancestors, I really thought it was special. I think it makes the story much richer. Y'all have anything else on the feedback?
Always enjoyable to hear her. She knows how to weave a story and well-spoken and...
Yes, well done. Well orated too, Don. But if that wraps that up, do you guys know what time it is?
What time is it?
What time is it?
Yeah, y'all. It is time for a game, and I have put together a game for us tonight, and it is I don't have the soundbite. It's
pig corn.
It's a pig corn. Yes, I thought I had them all. I don't have pig corn. But it's not just a pig corn. It's also a fist rooster, because it's my list. And we are going in and we are going to do companions and major NPCs from the Fallout series Pigcorn again. So these are major characters or companions from the main series or the TV show. So, y'all ready for this?
Go for it.
Good Lord.
You guys got this. I am going to start with Ray. So remember, game or TV show, major character or companion. Les zombies. Les zombies.
The ghoul.
Correct. Also, we don't go back and forth on Pigcorn, do we? You guys can buzz in whenever you want. So ignore my back and forth kind of situation here. Okay. Next up, Champion Boogie Down. Champion Boogie Down.
Boogie Down. Oh, dance. Andrew. What's his title?
He's not a knight.
What's his fucking title? Paladin?
Yes.
Yeah. Good one.
You are correct. Okay, coming up. This is a repeat from last time, but we're going to do this. Fish value. Fish.
Ray.
Ray?
Codsworth.
Woohoo!
Codsworth.
Well played. Well done. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Next up on the Pigcorn, we have Senor Domicile.
Andrew, Mr. House.
Yes, well done.
And there was much rejoicing.
Senor Domicile.
Yeah, he's yeah, it works, right? It's the translated version.
Should be his name from now on. He's always Senor Domicile now.
Senor Domicile.
Casa.
So we've got, this is another repeat. Okay, I did 2 repeats in this one. Trinity Hooch. Trinity Hooch. Ray?
3 Dog.
Bow wow wow, you got it. 3 Dog is a winner. Okay, you guys are so far 1, 2, 3. You guys are 5 for 5. Beautiful.
Boom.
So next up, Vulpinius or Vulpinius. So maybe harder. There may be synonyms involved. There may be odd conversions. Vulpinius.
I'm drawing a blank.
Somebody might have it. Somebody might have it in chat if you want to give it to chat.
Go, chat, go.
Chat
go.
says fox. Yeah, because a fox is a vulpine, and fox, the super mutant.
Right. F-A-W. That is great.
I mean, I could have done Guy Fawkes, but I wanted to try something different. Okay. This one is a stretch, but I had a lot of fun writing it. So hopefully you guys can guess.
Fist Rooster.
Edward Ecstasy. Edward Ecstasy.
All right. Are you Team Edward? Edward.
Give you some time on this one. Edward Ecstasy.
Oh, good. Some thinking.
Just enjoying the ecstasy of the moment. Though it should be more rave music for this to work.
I'm drawing
Who's the
blank.
girl who works for Cabot? Not Ed. What's his name? Is it
Edward Deegan?
Deegan? That doesn't make sense.
Deegan doesn't sound like ecstasy. That's not another word for ecstasy.
No, that does not make sense.
But boy, were you really close on the first half.
What I miss, Ray?
I don't know. I'm so blank on this one.
Eddie. Edward, Ed, E, ecstasy. Sorry, that's the name.
Ed, E.
Everybody calls
E
ecstasy
as
E.
an E as an ecstasy.
Yeah,
right?
I almost did Edward
the robot
5 because it's the 5th letter. But I'm like, yeah, no, Ed E.
That'd be too hard too. Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. But maybe I was the one who was wrong. Let's be real.
The ecstasy was throwing me off there.
Okay. The second half of this is tough because you guys were 5 for 5. This one may be just as bad. But I will say this character has been mentioned tonight multiple times.
Uh-oh.
Joking cracker cereal. Joking cracker cereal.
Cracker cereal.
So when you joking, you're also, it can be something else. And what is a cracker cereal?
Oatmeal? What do white people eat for breakfast?
Would you like to buy a vowel? The Atom Shop is open. Would you like to buy a vowel?
Cracker cereal.
There is 1 O and 2 A's.
Well.
Okay, point goes to chat. Joshua Graham is correct. Good job, chat.
Oh, Graham. That makes sense.
Josh, because Josh is joking. Joshing, joking.
Good joke.
Oh, boy. Okay. So I will start with a hint on this one. This character is in multiple games. Multiple games. Follicles aged. Follicles aged.
Elder. Okay. Follicle.
Follicles.
Where we going with hair roots, follicles.
Hair sounds good. Follicles aged.
Aged.
Oh, they are screaming at their phone on this one. This is turn to scream on the phone because this is one everybody knows. Any questions?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Harold. Hair old. Follicles aged.
Old.
God, I'm proud of that one. You know, I get the correct on that one because it was good. Okay, the last one, but don't get crabby about this one. It is imitation salad or just salad.
Imitation salad. Drawing a blank. Imitation salad.
Okay, I should forget the imitation part.
Okay. Salad.
Just salad.
Let's see.
With croutons, a little bit of anchovies.
Anchovies.
Caesar.
Must be
Yes, Caesar, because he's not the real Caesar. He's imitation salad. It is Caesar. I guess that wasn't exactly a pig corn, but anyway, well done, y'all.
What time is it? Game time!
And it's
We did
over.
great the first half.
Yeah, you guys did awesome the first half. Second half, like I said, is probably more on me than you. Sometimes I get a little silly there. But that was fun.
Yeah, Harold.
I thought that was the best one of them all. Okay. Well, y'all, I think that brings us into the round table stuff. Are y'all ready for that?
Yeah, sure. Let's chat it up.
Okay. Well, I prepared a little something to start us off with this one. So, to kind of set the mood, to get the feeling, to get started on our adventures into Big MT, I actually have the intro. Every time you load in, which for some of us was multiple times, you have to watch this movie before you can go on. You can't skip it. No, you have to watch it. So I want you all to enjoy it for a second time yourself.
In the years before the Great War, Big Mountain had been the home to the brightest minds of the 21st century. Scientists of vision were drawn to the facility to tackle the greatest technological challenges of the era. They sought to create a new world, fueled by technology for the benefit of all mankind. Sonic emitters, space-age alloys, DNA hybridization, force field particle research, autodoc advances in cranial, cardiac, and trauma surgery. The hopes and dreams of a century became realities in the electronic forges of Big Mountain. The nucleus of this research was the Dome, a huge stone facility that held the labs of every science known to man. It was a think tank where no problem could not be solved, where no question could not be answered. The Great War brought a new energy to Big Mountain and its scientists. Although sheltered from the front lines, the scientists waged their own war, fighting their battles at the atomic level. Equations and calculations marched endlessly across chalkboards and computer terminals toward one solution: winning the war. For years, the minds and computers of Big Mountain were a blaze of trajectories, weapon schematics, and nuclear theories. The problems began to outpace the solutions, first geometrically, then exponentially. As the war escalated, so did the questions. On the night of October 23rd, 2077, the scientists received an answer that put all their questions to rest. In the aftermath, Big Mountain's silent experiments went to sleep, their creators slowly dying in the new world that had been left behind. And the great stone in the middle of the Big Empty lay untouched, filled with countless technological wonders. Wonders that, in the end, had been answers to the wrong question.
There we go. I like the intro. I'm really enjoying the beginning movies to each of these things, setting them up. Like, that's a really cool conceit. I'm trying to think, did we have that many times in Fallout 3? Like, did Operation Anchorage at least have that? I don't think they did they, on any? Really? Like, not...
I don't think so.
Yeah, the whole movie setup thing was well done. Same with Far Harbor, Nuka World. They didn't either. It's just not a thing Bethesda did for the stories. In a way,
Yeah.
Far Harbor gives you the chance to absorb it, as you're riding to the island, you're getting the atmosphere, and you're getting some, stories of the island in the radio. But the actual quest that I want to tackle tonight while we talk, like I said, we don't necessarily need to get into too many specific quests, since we're all at different points on how deep we've gotten there, but we've all started it. So the first one on the list is Midnight Science Fiction Feature. Does it just get to the point where you check out the movie theater?
Yeah, I don't know. I just went to the theater.
Yeah, just go to the Mojave Drive-In.
Yeah. But if you get there early, there's no movie.
Yeah, that's happened to me. So actually, I got there late. It was about 4 a.m. when I got there. It didn't time things quite right. And so I'm like, well, it's dark. Where's the movie? But you get to the field, you see the big old screen, and you see what looks like a satellite with a
Is it actually time dependent upon when you show up to the location? Really?
Yep. Yeah.
So when you got there, was it playing a movie, Andrew?
Yeah, but wasn't the projector doing something weird?
Right. Well, that's just it. And so, see, for me, it wasn't. Was it for you? Like, did you have this, Ray, where, because if you click on it when it's not showing a movie, it says something.
Yeah, it says that it's not time for the midnight show.
Perfect.
So it gives you a time to come back. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. But it does start a little early. So I had
11.
to wait for 4 hours. And it was, about a quarter to 12. And the movie was playing. So,
Yep. Perfect. Once you get there, you see it, and yeah, it's a big old eye looking at you, which Dr. Klein's eye, it looks like, kind of peering out. You click on it, and suddenly there's a bit of a what's going on, and then everything fades to white. And you get a big old warning, too. The game does warn you that you're about to embark on a point of no return, like several of the DLCs.
yeah, because you can't get out once you get in until you finish.
Exactly. I saved, here we go. Here's the warning. I saved it. It says, the crashed satellite seems to be the source of the strange transmission you received. Old World Blue is recommended for experienced couriers, level 15 plus. You have a premonition. Oh, how lucky you, premonition. That while you'll be unable to return to the Mojave until you solve the mysteries of the Big Empty, you will be able to take anything and carry with you. So for once, you could be prepared and not lose all your junk. And you will be able to return to the Big Empty anytime after completing Old World Blues. If you're up to the challenge and you have everything you want to carry, examine the satellite a little closer. And so, yeah, you take a closer look at the satellite, and that's when everything goes white. Fade to white. And you wake up, and...
And you have to be ready for an extremely long exposition.
Yeah, that whole thing we just listened to every time. Yeah,
Well, even beyond that, because you got to talk to the robots forever.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. It's really fun. But so you wake up and you have surgery scars, and you know that you can tell that you've been operated on, but you don't know to what extent. You just feel weird. Things look weird.
Yeah, you feel heavy.
Right. Yeah. And looking out, I mean, this is a cool observation tower. Like looking out around you, the whole map. This map is cool, right?
Yeah,
I think it's neat.
for sure.
So you basically, there's one door in. So you can go to the one door in, and this takes you into a place that says the sink. So you click in, you get into the sink, and there's a big table in the middle. It actually looks like an Enclave strategy table, something like that we see in some of the other games. You know, the big old panel. But you click on it and it says, you know, this is inactive, chip is missing, something like that. And if you examine everything else in the room, because I assume you guys went around and examined everything in the room probably, right? And just checked on all these things.
Walked around a bit up and down the stairs.
Ray may have done it more recently.
I knew everything wasn't going to work, so I just went and talked to the think tank.
I remembered almost nothing. So I checked all that stuff, and I checked what was in the various locations. And that's when I'm already getting, you know, spent energy ammo. And if you go to the bedroom on the left, you know, it looks like it hasn't been occupied in a while, but there were people staying here. And there's a mad scientist outfit there, which is a pretty cool lab outfit. It has like 2 leather belts. So that's a good outfit. Andrew, you might like.
Better than the medical robes you're in with your butt hanging out.
Yeah, when you first go into third person, Andrew, you probably saw that right away, right?
I didn't put on the, you know, the patient gown or whatever.
So, and you can see your butt, and you just got your undies and a big old thing. But yeah,
I've been in first person a lot more than usual for some reason this playthrough.
It's cool. I'm glad that you're getting more flexible on that stuff.
But I missed my butt.
It was funny. Well, I didn't realize that I could see my butt at first sight because I was in first person. I go to and I open up my Pip-Boy, and I'm out of my armor, and I'm like, oh, can I put my armor on? And I did, and I'm like, wait, but what was I wearing? And then I click back, and I'm like, this, and so that's when I hit third person there. So it's like suddenly, boom. Oh. That's very revealing.
Your naked butt's not hanging out, right?
Yeah. Probably a good thing that you weren't in your Bubenstein.
Yeah, Bubenstein has the safer textures now, but it would have been nothing but cheeks. So the mad scientist outfit, what's cool about it, Andrew, and why I thought you'd like it in particular, is because it has multiple boosts. Like it boosts intelligence and science. It boosts multiple things.
I think I recall picking that up, actually.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. I feel like this add-on, they really did. It's just like more wacky, fun stuff like we were talking ahead of time. Fun weapons, fun outfits, fun stuff. Like, you know, you've got different glasses, scrubs. There's medical gloves all over, which I don't know what those do, but they're medical gloves. Yeah, it is Science 5, Intelligence 1. So it's a good boost, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so science and intelligence. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Fun stuff.
Very cool.
So that's everything in the first area, which I felt I had to explore. And then if you go on to the next, you see there's a way to the, did they call it the Big Empty there? On the left, I know it says think tank, right?
Yeah, because it's not the way out initially. Because you have to, when you go into the think tank and talk to the robots, then you get the key to the sink. So one side says think tank.
Yep.
The other side is the sink, but you can't get in
You can't get into the place on the left at first? Okay, so it kind of routes you to have to go see them. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go into the think tank. What did you think of all this, Andrew? Do you remember it when you got back in? Like, I know you played the intro a week or so ago, but like the long hallway, meeting the robots.
I remember being super annoyed by the robots, but the running up and down the stairs trying to figure out what I was supposed to do, was a little bit confusing at the beginning.
After the robots, you mean?
Yeah. Just the running around, like the doorway situation you were just talking about. I feel like I got twisted around backwards multiple times for some reason, even though there's not like a ton. It's just like this hallway and the staircase, and it's not a lot to do, but I just felt like I kept running on the same over before I actually got out of the area.
I haven't explored much beyond the initial area. Like I said, I'm only 2 hours in, so you think I would have left toward the starting area? No, of course I haven't. But I
You're not out of the character creator yet.
But I did get in and talk to the robots, and I could tell, like Ray says, they go on and on and on forever. And you said they were annoying you, and I mean, I'll admit, even I hit my limit a few times. Like I didn't even fast forward for a lot of the dialogue. You know how usually you read and you skip half of the voice line. I was letting them do it all because I was enjoying the multiple voices. The different Dr. 8 and Dr. O and Dr. Dala, I think her name is, and the big guy, Dr. Klein. And I think there's one other. I'm forgetting their name. But
and so one thing that I never really put, 2 and 2 together. So they refer to each other by numbers. They call them O and 8. And
yeah, I got the O and the 8.
So those correspond to their houses in Higgs Village.
Oh my God. So I haven't been there yet, but I talked to 8 after. I mean, it's all robot language, but he said to go visit my house in Higgs Village. Like we kind of got that. And we made friends, actually. I made friends with the gibberish robot dude. But this conversation, the whole thing, I mean, it was dramatic. It was a melodrama. It was funny. They're all like archetypical things. Like Dr. Dala is like oversexed and a bit lascivious. We have...
well, visit her house.
Yeah. I haven't been to the house yet, but I know her room here is full of mannequins and stuff. But we had a conversation. She liked it. The one doctor is very declarative and
Klein, the boss.
Yeah, right. The boss is yelly. And then one of the other guys, and I'm forgetting what his name is, he's a bit of a wimp, but he has that kind of salesman vibe to him. They're just really neat, distinct characters. And I thought it was fun. But the amount of times they mentioned penises, that's why I brought it up earlier. By the way, you guys, I was not being rude when I said it earlier. If you haven't played this, when you do, people listening, when you do, you're going to be surprised yourself too. It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, they definitely ran with that one.
Oh my goodness, 5 on each foot. But the whole back and forth thing, like it is funny. And so...
penises on each foot?
Yes, 5. Yep. Each of them. And on the hands too. Every proboscis is a penis. That's
a penis.
Apparently.
Oh
it was just part of the comedy. It was, they took it too far, which is why it was funny. But basically, at first, they don't even think you're talking because they only talk to each other and they're robots and they transmit stuff in binary. But you can, of course, hear them through the voice modulator. And then they begin to realize that actually you do comprehend. I thought it was well done. Like, as much as it was a little confusing, you could piece together the story there that they are bringing people through. It seems to be them. I don't know how they do, because everything else to say after that is talks about how they can't, nothing without a brain, no disembodied brain, and no body without a brain. Maybe robots can go out. Maybe that's what it is. Some of the robots can leave and come back. But that they are bringing people in and they are discarding the brains, which is a process Dr. Mobius came up with, and using the bodies as servants. And they're calling them lobotomites. And so you're the newest lobotomite, except you haven't been, except you find out you have. But somehow you're still thinking. You know the rest of the story, Ray, obviously already.
Yeah.
Like, I remembered a little bit of it, but not much of it. The idea is that they did take out your brain and you got vacuum tubes and stuff in there now. But somehow your brain is still communicating because brains are weird. Like, they're coming up with this weird pseudoscience. It's very much an Amazing Tales kind of story.
Yeah.
But then
well, it's not just your brain.
Right, because it hurt your heart too, right?
No. So they replace your heart. So you get a perk. So you get a perk for all this stuff. You get a perk for the lobotomy, the spinectomy, and the heart. And
all Dorothy's friends at once here, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've got no heart, no brain, and no courage in my spine.
But once you do get through that conversation, but you can carry on with things, there's 2 sets of glasses that you can pick up. So Dr. Klein's glasses are on the ground floor where you finish up the conversation with them. And that gives you repair +5, intelligence +1. And if you have the 4 eyes perk, it gives you perception +2.
That is so good.
If you go upstairs and go through the different rooms in the upper level, when you get to Dr. Mobius's room, which is the first one on the right. So his glasses are on the floor in that room. And with that, you get explosives +10, intelligence +2. And again, with 4 eyes, you get perception +2. So, 2 good sets of glasses.
Cool. And I haven't done this, but I read that if you put them together, if you wear his glasses and his scrubs, you get a challenge. You get XP, and they call it a Mobius strip. So I wonder if there's an achievement for that.
Man, have to check that out. They also give you the K9. If you have guns of 50, you get the K9000, which is a special gun. And also they give you a sonic emitter.
Yeah, that was the first one I got. So you get the sonic emitter, and you can say, I'm not really great with energy weapons, and you have to have guns at least 50, which I did.
And if you have high energy weapon skills, which I didn't, they'll give you some energy rounds. I told them that, I was better with bullet guns. And so they go through a whole exposition about that, but end up giving you a bunch of ammo.
Yeah. It's fun. You can keep egging them on for more and more stuff. And yeah, it was fun. So yeah, you finish that and you go around to the rooms, like you're saying, you get some cool items. I just thought it was neat seeing each of their rooms, and I was looking for Dr. Mobius's, and I guess I missed it. But up top, you can talk to Dr. Klein, and every person you talk to, you unlock like more little mini quests. Like essentially you start talking to them and it's like, learn more about this from this person, or learn that, or Dr. Klein, I've got stuff to like pull information out about more of the events that led up to this and what went wrong. With Dr. 8, or at least they call him 8. I don't know what his name is. Well, I'm sure we'll find out, or most likely we'll find out what 8 is, right? The gibber speaking one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you definitely want to go to his house.
Okay.
But it's so at that point also now you have a key to the saint.
I thought it was neat that if you push through and are polite and interested and keep talking to Dr. 8 while he's going, you start to understand that it's actually, he's using a Robco encoded format, and that opens a vulnerability for him that could be hacked. And he's hoping he gets something to fix it. And you can intuit what he's saying by the responses it gives you. And I just thought that was really neat. So you have a one-sided conversation that you lead, and it tells you about his house, and you get a key and stuff to it, or passcodes. You get two passcodes to his house.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a couple of things that I needed to do right away. So first was I had to go to Yangtze prison. So you pick up a couple of special weapons in that location. Also, one of the things to keep in mind when you're going through the Big MT. So the DLC release order was Dead Money, then Honest Hearts, then Old World Blues, and then Lonesome Road.
Right.
A lot of what you do in Old World Blues revolves around Elijah, who is the main character in Dead Money.
Right. Okay. And so we don't have that info yet, but
Yeah,
I did
so we
talk
don't
to
have
them,
that context.
find out that a courier had already been here. So, and we know that was Ulysses. We're going
Yeah.
to learn that's Ulysses.
Yeah. Yeah. So you definitely want to go to the Ulysses cave and get those. There's 2 holotapes in there, and listen to those, because that does a lot of setup for the Lonesome Road. But also stuff that you find on Elijah would have revealed, more about the story that you experienced in Dead Money if you had done that one first, which was the order of release.
Okay.
But yeah, so my main goal was to pick up Christine's rifle. You can
Okay.
also get her armor, but I don't really need that. That's not.
And so Christine was here before she was in Dead Money,
Yeah.
too. Okay.
Yeah. As was Elijah.
Yeah. So there's a whole story here, about, and they're all kind of connected. So yeah, that's something we are doing them out of order for that, but we weren't going to do Dead Money first.
Yeah.
Even though maybe
'Cause
we should have.
Yeah. It's really the best silent sniper rifle in the game. So even though, one of the things that I wanted to get was a anti-material rifle with a silencer on it, because that on a single shot is more powerful. But with Christine's rifle, you can actually get off 2 shots in the time it would take you to take 1 shot with the anti-material rifle, and so your DPS is higher because its fire rate is better. I think the anti-material rifle has a 0.45 fire rate, which is super slow. And Christine's rifle is like 1.5 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other thing is to go directly south of the sink.
Okay.
And go to Higgs Village. Because one of the things you realize once you get into the sink is that nothing works.
Yeah, everything's missing chips, and they've had personality matrices or whatever lost and such.
Yeah. So you need to go find the bits to be able to activate all this stuff.
I dropped a copy of the map into chat real quick, just for people to visualize, and also because Andrew may need it later.
Yeah.
I'll get one with labels.
So you run into a lot of lobotomites and some skeletons in, what do they call that? Some kind of a frame. But at this point, we haven't irritated Mobius to the point where he releases his Robo-scorpions.
Okay, right. Because that's when things get bad. Because we learned about Mobius, and he was your classic villain, and he was shouting and talking about Robo-scorpions that somehow absorb intelligence. Was that correct, or was that just a weird threat?
I'm not. They'd never really seemed that smart to me.
Okay. Fair. You can't absorb what isn't there.
But, the other thing that is very prevalent here are Night Stalkers.
Ooh, right, because they created them here, didn't they?
Yeah. So they are everywhere, and they are not fun. But so go to Higgs Village. You can get the chip for the jukebox, because you're going to want that so that you can upgrade your sonic emitter, because you're going to need that in a little bit to start doing the quest for the scientists. Also in Higgs Village is the chip for the book chute.
Yes, I need that. Is that where you find like your pre-war library books? Can you drop them there, or is it other things? Okay. Yeah. I already collected a couple of those. There are 2 of them I found so far, I think.
Then if you go into the Y17 facility, which is to the west, you'll find the upgrade you'll find the chip for the auto dock.
Okay.
And so that's really handy.
Is that how you get put back together? Do you get put back together? Do you want to get put back together?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking probably, because I'm a little bit worried that at some point my lack of a brain is going to start causing trouble.
So also, you can find there's 2 different two different light switches. One of the upgrades for the light switch is the smart lights, which gives you a boost to intelligence, I think it is, and a couple of other things. But yeah, so definitely you want to get, I ran around a lot just looking for all the parts I needed to be able to then, go through the quests a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can go back to the sink and actually get some stuff done. So you can't upgrade your sonic emitter, I think, unless you've got the jukebox upgrade. So I've done a little bit of questing. I got the stealth armor, which I probably won't wear. So one tip, if you do get the stealth armor, make sure you have put away all of your medics.
Oh, right, because it auto-feeds you medics, right?
It auto-feeds you medics. And so unless you've got chem resistance, so if you're using Logan's loophole, then, just medics away. But it will get you addicted to medics in a hurry if you leave them in your inventory. For all of our unarmed players, this place is huge. you get, so you're going to want to get the toaster chip and upgrade.
Right.
So that the toaster can make you an extra powerful power fist.
Good toaster for melee characters.
Yeah. If you're melee, then there's throwing axes and the proton axe.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get plenty of those to keep them upgraded.
Proton axe, right.
Yeah. And if you are an energy weapons character, you're going to have a much better time because there's a lot of robots, and mostly you'll run into all kinds of robots out in the world, but once you start going through X8 and X13, you're going to get a lot of scorpions.
Yeah, and that's where we'll be going, right? We're talking about the outside world. We're talking about the central hub we've explored. But then the next 3 quests that we're going to be doing, the ones to actually kind of resolve the mission and get the technology they are looking for, those ones are, what is it, like X2, X8, and X13?
Yeah.
Are the research facilities? Also, you mentioned robots and characters and the toaster, but the other one we got to mention is Muggy, right?
Oh yeah, the little Securitron.
Yeah, I have to tell you, if you didn't know, Vossel Sauce thought Muggy was the absolute best. So when she finally played through all New Vegas and played through all the DLC a couple years ago, she was just like, Muggy is awesome. She loves Muggy.
So, Andrew.
Yes.
You're going to want to make sure that your patience meter is topped off, because some of these facilities are incredibly twisted.
Oh no. Oh no.
So it is, especially when you get into, some of the simulation stuff. So I haven't been through X2 and I don't remember that one, very well, but X8 and X13 are definitely tricky.
I need a improved compass mod or something.
Yeah. You need to go through 8 to unlock the more powerful sonic emitter, so that then you can go to X13 and get the key you need to be able to finish at X8.
Yeah, these are names you're going to totally remember. So, like, we've got locations like Y17, X7A, Z38. Oh, I love Z38. I always go there for summers, X21, X66.
J7. Hit. I hit. You have sunk my battleship. Yeah!
Good luck, everybody. No, but it's not that big. It's a circle. At least if you go the wrong way, you'll end up back where you started eventually.
That's true.
Well, and also, if you don't pay attention to the warning that you get, that you have gotten, to the boundary markers, it transports you back to the sink.
Right?
You can't escape.
So that gets us stuck there, and it gets the think tank stuck there.
Yeah.
Or protected, as they want to say. They're not stuck. They're just protected.
You're a protectee.
It's definitely a lot of fun. There's a ton to explore, but it's always tense because the enemies are definitely upgraded here.
The Robo-scorpions are super fucking cute, but really tough.
Yeah.
So you're already fighting Robo-scorpions, Andrew?
I ran into my first batch of them literally 5 minutes before I drove up tonight.
Okay,
I found my first one. I was like, oh my God, look at these little cutie pies. And then they surrounded me and fucking murdered me.
So when we're talking about directions, so he has made it out of the center then, right? He certainly made it more than I have.
I made it to that one. The other main building or area that I remember must have been a greenhouse of some kind where I ran into patient 0 for the spore people. The spore people in that one vault.
In Vault 22, yeah.
Or whatever. I think they originated here because there's one called Patient 0 or something.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been over there yet.
Yeah, that's the one direction I went. I was just kind of randomly walking around. And what are the dogs with the rattlesnake tails called? What did you say those were called again?
Night Stalkers.
The Night Stalkers. Yeah, there were a ton of those guys running around. I found
They're
plenty difficult
fierce.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was also a lot of militarized canines.
Yes, there was like they look like Rex basically.
Yep.
There was like robo brain dogs.
Yeah, Rex in armor.
Yeah, pretty much. Saw a few of those running around. Yeah.
I love this.
But the scorpions are they're fucking adorable. I put my weapons down and was trying to take pictures of them because I thought they're so cute.
All right, Rose, hug that death claw.
Exactly.
I think it's interesting because for you and I, this is kind of our first experience because while I have played this, keep in mind, New Vegas, I've played it a bunch, but it was my very first Fallout game, really, because I played Fallout 3 up through Megaton, but I didn't make it into DC itself before I quit Fallout 3. And so the first full Fallout game I played was New Vegas. And so I did not have any of the context or anything at the time. And I never touched the DLC again. So this is exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. And there's a lot to pay attention to because there's all kinds of story weaved into all this stuff because of where it sits in the DLC list for the game. It's super interesting. And you will definitely, it's over near Higgs Village is the Ulysses cave. And so you have to make sure that you get to that spot and listen to those holotapes.
We will. Definitely will. I'm looking at the map here and I see a lot of points. It's funny because the roads are laid out like a circuit board, which of course is intentional, but I like the look of that. You know.
That's funny.
Yeah, looking at it from above, it looks cool.
Yeah. How big is the map area was?
It's not super big. The way that they make the map feel bigger is that it takes forever to get anywhere because you're constantly having to fight something. You know, if it's not the lobotomites coming after you, it's the Night Stalkers and the Robos. So every time, once you've activated the Robo-scorpions, once you've ticked off Mobius and he realizes that you're out helping the scientists, these things are everywhere. And
hope I get a few more levels before that happens then, because I got to get points into energy weapons.
Yeah, so I've been through X8. I've been through X13.
Oh.
As far as quest lines go. And with my exploring and fighting, I've picked up 4 levels. So I was 23 when I went in. And now I'm 27.
Nice.
Yeah. That's solid. So that's even more than Honest Hearts, because we all talk about how we all got a solid 4 levels in Honest Hearts, but this one you're already 4 levels and
and I'm
higher too.
I'm hardly in, Now you can, if you want to super level your character, so there's a perk you can get, or actually it's an implant, I think, that boosts your XP gain by 1% for every level.
Okay.
That you are.
So, and that's an implant you can get here only, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
From the sync guy.
From the sync.
The central intelligence, which by the way, I think that's where the name sync came from. It's like a way of, because it's central intelligence, CIN, but C sounds like an S, and that's why it was called the sync for Central Intelligence Center. I don't know. They don't say.
And you can also make sure you can upgrade the sink, the actual sink in the bedroom.
Wait, you can update the sink in the sink?
Yeah.
What's cleaner than clean?
So wash your hands.
The first, she's very sensitive about cleanliness. So you can drink purified water. Just, she says, please don't put your mouth on the faucet. And if you upgrade her second time, then she'll fill bottles with purified water. And she will double check to make sure you've cleaned the bottles thoroughly before putting her water in it. Fix up the sink in the sink if you want purified water. There's actually a lot of good stuff for people that are playing hardcore mode. Because there is stuff that affects only that. One of the implants you get improves how much healing you get from food and drink. So, but just be warned, there are no casinos. There's nobody to play caravan with.
Oh no!
And
What was that?
The implants are very expensive.
Oh, okay. So you want to hold on to those caps. They did retrofit it to use caps. So that was funny, that whole conversation there about that to kind of justify it. So because if you've already been through a couple of the facilities to start, what is the point that triggers Dr. Mobius to do the Robo-scorpions? Is he doing
But
all
I
three
think
of these locations? Or?
No, I think once he realizes that you're helping them.
Okay. But you don't know exactly what that is?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what triggers them. So I can't really say what to avoid.
Okay. Well, I'll take it slow.
don't
I'll just do
worry
a lot
about
more
it.
exploring before I do facilities. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's
Yeah.
just a few Robo-scorpions, whatever.
Yeah, just get out there and just shoot stuff.
I'm really looking forward to doing this the next couple of weeks,
Yeah, I'm really glad that we had 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of why we did it, because Andrew knew he might not have time. He might be traveling and stuff like that. Now that I'm in and playing and talking to everybody, I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that you can get for the auto dock is appearance modifiers. So you can actually use the auto dock, not only so the auto dock will heal you, repair any bad limbs, cure any addictions, and get rid of radiation poison. So super useful. But you can also, there's a tape that you can find for appearance modification, so you can change the look of your character, and also hairstyles, so you can change your hairstyle.
Can you get any new hairstyles, or is it just the
I
base
think
ones?
it's probably just the base ones.
Yeah, figured.
Unless you've
the
got mods.
Elvis pompadours in different styles as well.
Yeah, all the usual. So for people sending in their own feedback, you saw how loose this was. I'm all about the story so far, and just a little ways in, Andrew's a little bit further, and Ray has already started the exploration. So you get tips from all of us. And so wherever you get to is where you get to. If you finish the entire thing before next week feedback, don't need to do the whole thing. Spread that out. That's fine. But we want to hear more about your impressions, your thoughts about what it is, and what you did first here, anything like that. Or how your character thinks about it. Like, did you approach it differently with your character? Like, it turns out Jessica was set up very much the same, except for the weapons. So, I'm wicked heavy. I had the same initial starting traits. So I'm like, oh, that worked out well.
Wow, that's convenient.
Yeah, go heavy on the science, which is great.
Yeah, and I don't know if you really have to have it, but I definitely have enjoyed having a robotics expert.
Okay.
Can you hack them to implode or whatever?
Yeah. So far, I've only used it to help get through is it X13? It's the one where you do all the sneak stuff. Yeah, it's X13, where you get the stealth suit, and then you can improve the stealth suit by going through some simulations. And it's heavy with robo brains, and so I was able to disable them to keep it simple. So also, there's a really easy way to finish the stealth suit upgrade, which requires little to no fighting, actually.
Oh.
But lots of lock picking.
Okay.
So if you've got good lock picking, instead of going out the big double wooden doors, go through the metal door in the back and go up the stairs and get through it that way.
This would be in the location where you get the stealth suit.
Yep.
But
yeah, because once you pick up all the stuff for the stealth suit, then you have challenges that upgrade it to different levels.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to max out the stealth suit, I did it just because it was there. I probably won't wear it because my sneak's already 100.
You must collect all the things.
Yeah. And so this thing, the stealth suit gives you like 30 to your sneak.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really crappy with your sneak,
but you can't get 130.
No, I can't get it. I can't get over 100. So it doesn't really help me. It would auto stem me, which I don't like in games in general.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because I
you want to track your healing stuff.
Means.
You also like to be in control, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why use a stim pack when there's a bed right there?
Right. Exactly. Sometimes you want to just shove your face full of food to heal. Sometimes you want to be on the edge and use things wisely. Totally get that.
Purified water.
Mm-hmm.
But, so hydrate. So, yeah, this is a fun one. I like this one. It's wacky, it's challenging, and makes for a good time. And it's a great place for a sniper. So one thing I'll tell you, especially I have light step, which I don't set off traps.
Good one.
So I just stroll through these places without any trouble. So Dr. Mobius will tell you to stay off the pipes. So the place is all littered with, all kinds of overhead piping and everything running between the different facilities.
Especially the green ones.
Don't listen to him.
Oh, don't listen to him? He's tricking you?
Pipe is life.
Pipe is life.
Because the one weakness that Night Stalkers have is they have no ranged attack. And so by staying up on the pipes, you can snipe them from up there and makes them much easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. Clever. And that's probably the best place to get a vantage point that they can't get to.
Yeah. And also, with high sneak and up on the pipes, the lobotomites have been no trouble at all.
Cool. Yeah, this is good to know. Good to know. Thank you for telling us before we really ventured forth out there. I'm sure a lot of us appreciate it, especially that it's definitely a step up in difficulty in a good way. So y'all ready to move on?
Do it.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up.
So y'all, it is time for the bits. This first one, and it is, of course, the #1 news about the #1 Fallout game I saved here for Andrew.
Shelter.
What? You ready? You ready? Get ready. Fallout Shelter Ultrasight Fever Season. The new season has started for Fallout Shelter.
Woo! Not a scam. Not a scam at all.
Not a scam? Here's the announcement. A new season kicks off. Inspired by the Appalachian wasteland of Fallout 76, Ultrasight Fever Season runs from March 4th to April 12th and features brand new challenges and rewards to spice up your vault life.
Well, I don't know anything about it, but just the whole structure of the season thing, if you don't invest the money into it, you basically get no benefits from it.
I know you were disappointed. I don't remember all the arguments about last season, but I remember that as you went on, you're like, I'm really not getting the stuff I want, and I do have to pay to get that stuff. You need a season pass to get all the goodies. That's how they get you.
Exactly. You got to cash in.
But here's what happens if you do buy in. Ultrasight deposits have been discovered beneath your vault. Oh, God, it's growing under your vault, Andrew. That's cool. But you're not the only one interested in this resource. Build 2 new rooms. New rooms? One to mine Ultrasight, and another to craft Ultrasight weapons. To defend your vault against relentless waves.
That's a normal weapon bench.
No, new Ultrasight ones are here. And you're going to defend against relentless waves of Scorched that will attack throughout the season. Defend your vault and receive rewards to take you back to your original vault. You can also upgrade your season pass. Oh, so what you do get here, you can bring back with you. Again, you can also upgrade your season pass to receive unique new dwellers for money, Ultrasight weapons, and the Land of the Scorched and Ultrasight weapon room themes for money. All unlocked rewards can be brought back to your main vaults. Happy mining, Overseer. And then it says, as a reminder, these seasonal vaults are completely separate from your normal vault. You'll still be able to experience all the normal joys of Overseer life when you're not involved in these experiments. So, yeah. We'll have to check in with Steve, Pip-Boy Steve, see if he is currently playing the season.
Still subscribed and doing it.
And we know Bernard and Andon was playing last season a bit too. Hopefully, if you are, you're enjoying it. And I mean, you don't have to buy into the fancy stuff to experience half the joy of the season.
Well, yeah, you still get the same experience.
Just half of it. It's like Christmas. If you don't go all commercial on it, you still get to experience the joy and laughter, but you don't get the presents.
You experience the joy and laughter, you just don't get all the crap. You don't get all the stuff.
So what is it really about, Andrew? This is what I'm asking you. Is it about building new rooms?
It's about the joy and the love of family and togetherness.
See, if they had Fallout Shelter first, you could buy it only once a year and forget about it and then just reap those good rewards.
Just subscribe and get my 1,600 atoms every week.
I will not give them ideas. But, let's get the season pass all at once.
Can I get a season pass for both 76 and Shelter at the same time?
It's the Omnibus pass. But speaking of Fallout 76, that takes us to our next bits. So the update did happen. We all know we are currently in the new update. Bigfoot has been sighted, all the things we talked about. But there are some new things that I hadn't highlighted before that I want to bring up now that are actually kind of neat. These are functional things, as opposed to the new mechanics and the events. But It's going great. People are meeting party crashers. There are definitely, as always, some bugs with the release. Okay, I will get right to that.
Yeah.
One of the big things, it's such a simple quality of life thing, but for those of us who play the game socially, your emotes keep on assigning. You remember how it used to be that some of your emotes would like unbind from your wheel, you have to rebind them?
So annoying.
Doing that times 3. It's worse than it's almost ever been. Yeah, it's bad. But there is a free emote in the item shop, at least if you're Fallout First. I don't know if it's everybody or not. I don't remember. But you get to bow. They gave us a bow emote. How cool is that? I love it. Perfect for the theater company. We're all getting it, of course.
Encore.
Yes, we hope. So here's some other things that I wanted to mention. First of all, I didn't talk about this, but there's a major armor weight reduction across the board, which is a big help for people. So the armor weight reduction, what do I have on it here? So regular body armor, like most of the types of armor you use, leather, combat, Secret Service, is reduced by 40% to 80% across the board. So everything weighs less, okay? Which is good because carry weight is such an issue in the game, you know? Power armor, individual power pieces have been cut by 90%. So remember how it used to be like 10 pounds a piece? And then like each piece until you put it on a chassis to store it? Now it's like 1 pound a piece. So it's like, boom, they cut 90%. Yep. And then the actual, I said chassis. I apologize. Apologies to people out there with all your classy chassis. I didn't mean to mispronounce it, but no longer has a flat weight of 10. Its weight is now derived from the contents. So if you have one piece of armor that weighs 1 pound on it, it's a 1 pound chassis. If you've got 8 pieces of armor, however many there are, you get weights like that much. So 6 pounds or 8 pounds, whatever it is. So yeah, so much better there. Big thing for armor across the board, whether you're power armor user or not. The next big thing, legendary perks. So you get your perk points. I almost said overseer points from Nuclear Winter, but your legendary perk points when you scrap cards, you build them up over time and such. But every time you unmount a legendary perk to put in a new one, it costs a perk point, right? So you'd be playing, it'd be a couple steps forward, 1 step back. They got rid of that. It is now free swapping your legendary perks. So you can add or move legendary perks as you want without paying for it. You still have to pay to upgrade, but this is going to make it a lot less. The funny thing is, a few of you folk out there who don't like odd numbers, who love it when things end in a 0 or a 5, and I mean, or, you know, if you prefer even numbers, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. If you currently have an odd number, you will always have an odd number because there is no way to spend 1 perk point anymore. It's only a thing for some people, but there are people who actually get a little upset about it, so I thought I'd mention.
You know, I'm no stranger to getting upset about stupid stuff. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's a little tight.
It's a small one, but people who might actually be OCD or have things about it, they, you know, the rest, yeah, just get to suck it up, buttercup. And then finally, another big one, and these are a lot of things related, just like small things I hadn't mentioned ahead. Underarmors have changed. Okay, so underarmors, you might remember how underarmors, they each had 6 levels of lining. Each Under Armour had their bonuses, and then the line had to be crafted for it to work, right? Well, now they have made Under Armours generic. So the lining mods that you make, they now only give you the resistances, your damage resistance, your energy resistance, and the rad resistance. Now, the special bonuses come from a style slot. So whether it's casual, whether it's Secret Service, whether it's Raider, the style determines your special bonus. So you can finally use whatever Under Armour you want. In other words, all Under Armour is the same, just looks different. And then you can choose which style bonuses you want on it and then how you want to line it. I like the casual lining still, and I like the Raider harness linings. Like those were good too, but most everybody's running on Secret Service, so it'll make a difference.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh, one fun thing that we didn't know about ahead that happened with Bigfoot. So, and maybe you guys have seen this. So you know how out there in the wild, we just can't prove Bigfoot exists because the only time we get pictures of them, they're blurry. Right? But there are people who swear. They swear they saw Bigfoot, but he's blurry. Well, guess what? If you take a picture in the game of Bigfoot, he's blurry.
He's blurry. I thought you were going to say that he is blurry.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot is blurry. Like
that would be awesome. He's just like a big old squiggly bunch of lines. Just like, no. So you could see him normal, but you pull out your camera, you use any of the pro snaps, and he's blurry.
Hilarious.
But if you go into photo mode, you can get a picture of actual Bigfoot.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about photo mode?
Yep, photo mode works. Cameras do not, and it's
really cool.
So good. Yeah, I love that. So I thought that was a fun little highlight. let's see, other RPG news this week. So that's pretty much it for 76 that I wanted to mention. Fallout related stuff. The only other thing I have on Fallout related is the Iron Galaxy tease this week, where some people momentarily lost their minds again, like they do. So if you guys don't know, Iron Galaxy is a long-time studio. They've been around forever. They do a lot of ports, remakes, and such. They do some original games too, but a lot of ports and remake projects. And they're a great hired hand to work on other games too. But they did things like Killer Instinct. I believe they were when that fighting game came back. Well, they posted a picture of on lunch break from a really great meeting, or just finished a really great meeting, and the picture was their desk with stuff on it. All the screens had the Please Stand By New Vegas Please Stand By logo on it. They baited us. Because, of course, I mean, no, we know they're not doing a Fallout New Vegas remix. I mean, no, we don't know that. But the assumption is, if anyone's working on it, it's Virtuous. And we do believe Fallout 3 is coming first. Again, we don't know any of this. But maybe a second different city working in Vegas, that would really make sense. But it could be. But then they're an upscale port studio. They wouldn't do as much of a remakester. It'd be more of a remaster with them, most likely. So people are wondering, but after a day or two of fervor and people saying this and that and conspiracy theories and videos, and they said, no, that's just the screen we always use for our meetings. We promise. We had no idea it would spark a fear. Now,
yeah, I love a good dev troll.
It was definitely a dev troll. Then, because the Iron Galaxy guys are like that. They're pretty funny. If you did hear it, no, they have quickly denied it. They have 100% said that is not what is happening there.
I don't know exactly how quickly they did.
Right, it took like a day and a half. Yeah. It could have been a lot quicker, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of trolling us and people getting carried away with things, Starfield 2.0. So again, we said blah, blah, blah. Todd said not Starfield 2.0, but we don't know yet. However, the rumors have really sparked with multiple insiders, not just confirming we hear it's coming in April 7th, I believe, is the date that's floating around there as a rumor only, from some people who are good at such things. But they're also saying that we should find out about it in the next week or so. The announcement should come. So we'll see. But if you are waiting to find out what the update is, what it's about, all that fun information, just hold on. You should only have a week or so to wait.
Yeah, unless it's a year.
Right. Unless they're wrong, because they could be wrong. Like, there's the whole where there's smoke, there's fire thing like that. Used to be something you could really believe. Now it's so much of what is the source of the smoke, because there can be a whole lot of smoke from some really rotten material. The people out there burning tires. That's not the kind of smoke you want want to follow. So it's frustrating.
Yeah. The Genesys people are really good at, making sure that in the installation instructions that they tell you how to keep your Starfield from updating.
Wow, people after your own heart.
Because you do not want your game to update if you're playing with mods.
Yeah, that makes good sense. I'm sure they've got a lot of custom extenders and stuff in there hooked in for sure. So that is pretty much all that I have. Then I've got a little bit of RPG news for y'all. So Game Pass has been getting all the RPG games lately. They've had Witcher 3 for a while. They had Kingdom Come Deliverance. We now got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So we've got both Kingdom Come Deliverances on there. So if you're a fan of realistic and more painful Skyrim, Ray's played KCD 1. KCD 2 is supposedly
that is, if you want to really feel like you suck at a video game, like Kingdom Come Deliverance.
KCD 2 is supposedly a lot nicer, though.
I mean, they do a good job of not just throwing you into the hardest fight possible. You kind of go through the progression, but just know that if you want to be able to fight with a sword, you're going to have to practice fighting with a sword, because there's no perk that makes you better at melee.
It's like the Skyrim do it to get better, but in this case, you're doing it to get better because you actually got to get better.
Yeah, for sure.
Technically, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, it did get a next-gen update last month, too. So it's not only on the service, it's actually updated from what it was. And Cyberpunk will be on Game Pass this month, they have said. So we're going to get 4 of the greatest RPGs of the last decade at once. Four of the greatest non-Bethesda or Obsidian RPGs.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't played Cyberpunk, when it's on Game Pass, just play it. I think if you made a game category of best vanilla games, they've done so many improvements to that game that I don't even mod it. I don't even bother to mod it.
And that DLC that came out, the stuff with
Phantom Liberty.
right
Yeah, with Idris
with
Elba.
Luther, isn't that the character?
Yeah.
And it's like 15, 20 hours at least for the DLC, right?
It's really kind of a never-ending game. You just play it as much as you, just as a pure vanilla game. That one is the top of my list.
Yeah, here I am talking about Crimson Desert, but I still never played Cyberpunk, and I own it. Like, I own it. I don't need Game Pass. I own it. That's pretty much it for the bits, y'all. Andrew, you have anything else you want to talk about tonight? Any parting thoughts or?
I do not believe so. It's great to have both you guys back and
getting along.
The trio back together again. Yeah, getting along, not fighting anymore. Great to have you again.
So one
Very
interesting observation from the road.
Yes.
I hadn't really expected it much. So there's an interesting thing when I drove from Albuquerque to Oklahoma City, and New Mexico evidently is a recreational marijuana state. And as you get closer to the border, it's kind of like if your state doesn't allow fireworks,
right? Yeah,
there's going to be fireworks stores at the border when you.
That's called state line fireworks.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you pass into Texas, all the billboards along the highway change to "Gummies are a felony." and ads for weed lawyers.
Crossing state lines with gummy bears. Wow. That's what they get charged with.
So Texas makes it very clear. Evidently, it's a problem at the New Mexico border.
Get with the times,
They want to
Texas.
make sure that, not only is it against the law, but it's a felony. So,
wow. Like they're actually
hard
it's
time.
posted.
Oh, yeah. Big billboard with a gummy on it and the word felony.
Crazy.
Any other fun things you and Monkey got to experience on your drive back?
No, it was a great drive. I mean, whenever I do these road trips, I always try to time it with a weather pattern. And so we caught a perfect wave of warm weather that we rode all the way to Nashville. And so the conditions were great. You guys talked a little bit about the Korean barbecue place that I stopped at. So that was actually in Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
In Russellville, Arkansas. There's evidently a big lake there that's a big tourist destination or something. And also a university in town. And so this little food truck, the food was absolutely fantastic. But
it wasn't Korean enough.
Decidedly not Korean. But I would definitely, if you're ever in Russellville, Arkansas, I think it was called Gobi Barbecue, and just a little food truck. I suspect, based on how good the barbecue pork I had, Korean style, tasted, and how fantastic the whole parking lot smelled.
Right.
Their Texas barbecue is probably really good.
Right.
From Arkansas.
We had really good food all the way through. Albuquerque, of course, is, fantastic Mexican food. I definitely had for breakfast, I had chilaquiles, which I often make for myself. Now I have a new level to aspire to.
Oh, good. Nice.
Because this stuff was so good. But great weather all the way across and good food too.
Love that.
It was a good time. The one thing I didn't get when I was in California, I never got fish tacos.
Oh.
Get tri-tip?
No, I didn't get tri-tip, but I wasn't really searching for that. There's a restaurant out of San Diego called Rubio's that makes the quintessential fish tacos.
Yeah.
But I never made it for fish tacos. And when I was in Nashville, I didn't get a hot chicken sandwich.
The Nashville hot chicken. Yeah.
Yeah. So those were my two, trip disappointments food-wise. But all the food I did get was pretty fantastic.
More than makes up for it.
Okay, so the ending of the recording got just a little garbled, so I'm going to wrap it up here. All we said after that was good night. So you can find Andrew at Indie Android at all the Andrew places. You can find Ray at RayLB on the Twitter. You can find me at SleepIs4T on Twitter and lots of other places. But be sure to give a listen to all of our other ASA podcasting shows. Ray with BBC ISSSSS. I mean, that's Butcher, Baker, Candlemaker in Space. Also, a Skyrim Addict podcast. I should have a Starfield Lorecast episode out very, very soon. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I swear it's true. And also coming up next Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be doing the C3 convention again. So keep an eye out for that on the socials. We're doing some deep dives into several mods, including Sky Oblivion and Skywind. And I'll be showing Fallout Upstate, a fan film, and talking with the people who worked on that and several modders. Lots more. We're going to have a large Starfield verified creator panel. Anyway, that's 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. next Saturday and Sunday. Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of the Fallout Feed. And we will see you in the Wasteland.